FBI, and then stroll around the White House. Now that's what I call Biden privilege. And when you have stooges like A.G. Garland doing the dirty work, from stalling on charges to tampering with evidence, you can get away with anything. And that's exactly what Merrick Garland did.
U.S. Attorney of Delaware David Weiss tried to bring charges in the District of Columbia around March of 2022 and was denied. Investigators had probable cause to search a Northern Virginia storage unit in which Hunter Biden had stored files. Attorneys for Biden were made aware prior to any search of justified delays pervaded the investigation, including authenticating a WhatsApp message in which Hunter Biden demands payment from Chinese officials, noting that his is in the room.
Hey, we might raid that unit. Might want to take a look. Biden's Department of Justice tipped off raids, shot down charges, and then tried to bury the piece of evidence tying all of it to the big guy, including, as was mentioned, a WhatsApp message where Hunter was demanding money from the Chinese. Here's the quote. I'm sitting here with my father, and I'll make certain that between the man sitting next to me and every person he knows, that you will regret not following my direction. I'm sitting here waiting for the call with my father, a mafia boss. And the day of that message, Hunter was photographed at the big guy's house. But Joe knows nothing. He was driving around in the convertible. So does it sound like Joe wasn't involved in any of Hunter's shady business dealings? No. And don't call this Russian disinformation their favorite phrase. Hunter's own attorney confirmed the message. But he just blamed it on Hunter being a crackhead. Here's the quote. Any verifiable words or actions of my client in the midst of a horrible addiction are solely his own and have no connection to anyone in his family. He went from Hunter did nothing illegal to the he was just as high as a kite defense. But have you ever seen such powerful people go to bat this hard for a druggie? If I don't pay my taxes, Garland's not going to help
What?
me. I'm sure I know he's not going to help you either. And have you ever seen an attorney general have dinner with the guy still investigating? Still slow walking. Well, last night, Garland had a VIP seat to Biden state dinner, the same dinner Hunter went to.
Nope.
I'm sure they enjoyed the best champagne and vegan delicacies that your tax dollars can pay for. Well, Garland says he's done everything by the book.
Some have chosen to attack the integrity of the Justice Department, as components and its employees, by claiming that we do not treat like cases alike. This constitutes an attack on an institution that is essential to American democracy and essential to the safety of the American people. Nothing could be further from the truth.
But in 2.5 years, while Garland was shutting down the laptop and Biden's bribery scheme, Trump was getting the full force of the FBI. He was getting raided, while the Bidens were being tipped off to raid. Trump was getting hit with petty charges, still is, while Hunter was getting real charges dismissed, chopped right off. And if it had the name Biden on it, the FBI, no, they just buried it.
They were told to stand down. That's what our FBI whistleblower told us. When we learned of the discovery of the 1023 form that alleged Joe Biden took a bribery from the most trusted, highest paid FBI informant, they were told to stand down. The National Archives, when they were trying to write a story on their website about Joe Biden mishandling classified documents, they were told by the Department of Justice to stand down. When they were looking at the obvious tax violations by the Biden family, they were told to stand down.
Stand down. Haven't heard that word as much since Ben Cosby. If it wasn't for brave whistleblowers, we wouldn't know any of this. And it wasn't too long ago that if you blew the whistle on the president, the powerful people, you'd never have to buy a drink in Washington, D.C. ever again. But now, if you blow the whistle on Biden, Garland goes after you.
there's a very, very real problem with
Someone lied about videos, Bonnie.
Chris Clark, Hunter's
But
attorney,
not
he
ready.
told
It's
prosecutors
not
last summer
ready.
that the charges
He
filed
said, no,
were
boss,
suicide.
I
So
have
we know that folks are coming for Gary, for the case agent, and so
I
it's really
have
up to Congress to
be
protect them and ensure
Aaron.
that they are not further
Yes,
retaliated
so
against.
I am
And
you.
what's worse is that
No,
they think we're
I got
too
a
stupid
video.
to see what's
And
going
I
on.
said,
They cover up their
they
crimes
were
and
lying
then
about
toast the
videos.
champagne, laugh
He
at
said,
us.
no problem.
They think they're too good to even answer our question. Yes or no, was
No.
the president
Go.
involved?
I just answered. Stephen, I just answered the question. I just said, it's not up to you how I answer the question. I just answered the question by telling you my colleagues at the White House Counsel has dealt with it, and I would refer you to them.
Your statements from that podium, you've stated that the president stands by his comments in the 2020 campaign that he never once discussed his son's overseas business dealings with his son. And you stood at that podium and you reaffirmed that. Do you stand by your reaffirmation?
What I will say is nothing has changed.
Not a change?
I just answered the question. You just asked me, does my statement change? I just told you nothing has changed. That's answering the question.
Okay. That's definitely not answering the question. A hedge? But that's the point. The Bidens will never answer for anything. They'll do the crimes and never pay the time. And no one is allowed to ask any real questions that have to get real answers. Biden told us nobody F's with a Biden. And that might be the truest thing Joe Biden has ever said. You see, the Bidens just F with everyone else and then rub it in your face. Let's turn to Andrew Kerr. He's an investigative reporter at the Free Beacon. Andrew, you've broken a lot of this to include some of the messages, and I think the forensic evidence that ties the location of Hunter Biden at Joe's house in the convertible to the very same day some of those threats were made to the Chinese.
Yeah, that's right, Pete. Yeah, we know that Hunter Biden was at his father's home the same day he sent those threatening shakedown messages to Chinese businessmen. Just hours after those texts were sent, Hunter Biden was pictured behind the wheel of his father's 1967 Corvette. This is the same car that Joe Biden stored in a garage alongside classified records. These records are a devastating blow against Joe Biden's repeated claims that he has never discussed foreign business dealings with his son. The president needs to address why Hunter is at his home, invoking his name in these threatening shakedown messages to Chinese businessmen with ties to the Chinese Communist Party. And Pete, just 10 days after Hunter sent these threatening messages, an official with the Chinese energy company CEFC wired $5.1 million to Hunter's accounts.
So the money is there. So you've done this work, you've made these connections. Some of it, I'm guessing, had to do with material on the laptop, which the FBI has had. So the FBI, the IRS, the Justice Department, they could have connected these dots too. Why won't they?
Right. The whistleblower documents released by the House Ways and Means Committee yesterday showed that the FBI verified the laptop way back in 2019, long before news of it hit the public in October of 2020. And the whistleblowers detailed how they wanted to use evidence from the drive, but they were just being served roadblocks from the Justice Department. So it's unclear why they didn't want to use information from the hard drive, but that's the state play.
Because they never wanted to charge Hunter. Certainly no connection to Joe. But to get back to what you uncovered, the reality here is we have a verified text message from the son of the vice president threatening a Chinese national, member of the Communist Party with ties. He's a high-level energy executive. Pay up or else. Obviously, that stinks to high heaven. Is that and foreign business dealings like that, if you're not reporting it, are not legal? Why is there not being made more of this in the press when what the journalists are supposed to be doing in this country are holding the powerful accountable?
Right, and it's important to note that this message is not from the laptop. It's the result of it. It's from an electronic search of Hunter Biden's iCloud account from IRS investigators. So this is a digitally authentic message. And inside Joe Biden's Corvette on the same day, cyber forensics expert visually authenticated the legitimacy of those photos when we first reported them back in January. So these are verified text messages. These are verified photos. It's beyond dispute. And the president needs to answer for this. It's just too much. The White House tried to ignore this today. The president needs to address this.
You wonder, you keep saying it's too much. You wonder if there's a moment where the dam actually breaks, where the press actually latches on. We saw some stories in the New York Times and others where they're starting to have to be forced to cover this because of the whistleblowers. Maybe eventually it becomes too much when there's so much blatant illegality and corruption right before our eyes. They're hiding in plain sight. Andrew, thank you so much. Thanks, Pete. You got it. All right, coming up, why is the Supreme Court helping Joe Biden, you know, the ones that were nominated by Trump, helping Joe Biden protect illegals?
Oh, Booking.com. I'm going to somewhere, anywhere. A beach house, a tree house. Honestly, I don't care.
Find the perfect vacation rental for you. Booking.com,
Yeah.
DJ Good.
From Taylor Sheridan, co-creator of Yellowstone, the hit series